Hey guys, welcome back for another video with me this week. As always, I look forward to chatting with you guys. So for this week's video, and since it's the kickoff of the August month, I thought we could do kind of an informational video just about August. So as always, I definitely tried to find some things that were kind of cool and interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna get started. So did you know that August, the name actually dates way far back? So I think a lot of you probably know that it was named after a certain Roman man, right? But what you probably didn't know is the name was changed to August 9 years before Jesus was even born. So that kind of gives you a little bit of perspective of how long this actually was, okay? So the calendar was yet again changed in the Roman times. Throughout history, the calendar and the months and things like that have been changed over and over and over. So there have been so many changes to the calendar. Even the number of days in August has changed. They've changed it to less days, more days, and less days again. Before Julius Caesar said, look, we're going to have 30 days in this month, and that's kind of what we stuck with. There's still 30 months in this month still to this day. So, Caesar decided, like I said, it'd have 30 days, and after all, the month was named after the man, right? But why, you ask? Well, the Romans thought that Caesar, he was going to be this almighty and great ruler. So they really wanted to do something to honor him, make sure that he was most definitely remembered as the great ruler that they saw him as. So then went the task of figuring out what month do we name after this guy, right? So August just so happened to be a very busy month in his personal life. A lot of stuff was going on in his life in the month of August. So they said, why not make the whole month about this man? I wish I was making this up, but I'm not, I swear. So yeah, the Romans, like I said, decided to make it all about him. So the Anglo-Saxon people, they actually called the month of August Weed Month. Well, you probably don't have to think too hard to figure out why they called it that. On this part of the world, most definitely for whatever reason, weeds grow twice as fast in the month of August. It makes sense, seeing as I just weeded all of my rocky area, and the weeds already so rudely have made their reappearance. What can you do, right? So this could also be why the birthstone is called the peridot. So if you don't actually know what the peridot is, it's a green stone. So it kind of varies in color. It can be from shades of green, like green grass, as far as an olivey green hue. So I actually do have a lot of jewelry that is that color because it just so happens to be my birthstone. I've never seen it quite olive green, but a lot of times it has a very light, almost like a lime green of sorts kind of color. So the gem itself is actually super unique. I learned this today. I didn't even know. They're actually an extremely rare stone. I remember when I was younger, I always used to wish that my birthstone was the diamond, right? Because my dad always got me my birthstone for the holiday. It was one of the, as I got older, only gifts that we got growing up. Anyways, so they are actually only found in 2 different places, okay? So they can be formed deep in the earth, and they actually come up to the surface when they're expelled by lava. Okay, so the only way you're gonna find these is if a volcano erupts and lava shoots these gems out. The only other place that you can get these gems from are actually meteorites. Yeah, like the ones that come from space and fall down, meteorites. So they're literally like out of this world. They come from inside the world and outside of the world. Kind of interesting. I find this interesting because those people born in beginning and later August are actually considered a Virgo. If you know anything about the August birth signs, there are more than one, but I do know that the Virgo is the last earth sign. I find this kind of interesting, seeing as a lot of these stones come from meteorites from outer space at that. So people do say that the peridot actually has healing powers. It's very mystical. It can even protect the person who wears it from danger or evil, right? So I find that kind of interesting as well. Maybe that could be because it comes from outer space. I don't know. There's a lot of things that we just don't quite understand about that, right? We may never know. Ooh. Okay, so enough about all of that. So August, like every other month, has a birth flower too. So the August flower happens to be the very vibrant and a lot of times multicolored gladiola, or the deep crimson poppy. So crimson is a red color, right? So the gladiola flower is said to represent generosity, strength of character, and deep sincerity, where the poppy flower couldn't be more different, okay? Because it's a sign of imagination, eternal sleep, and even oblivion. So kind of interesting. So they do say that whatever your birth flower is, or your monthly flower is, you tend to take on those characteristics. So I don't know, which one of those characteristics do you think I take on? So a lot of that I think is probably common knowledge. It's a lot of things that a lot of people kind of know about August. So I did a little bit of searching, a little bit of digging to hopefully find something about August that you folks didn't know about it. So August 1st, okay, to the Anglo-Saxon people is actually known as Llama Day. So the name of this day is actually kind of deceiving because it doesn't actually have anything to do with llamas, okay? So it was kind of like their Thanksgiving, their version of Thanksgiving. It was their harvest time. They would pray over their corn and things like that. Even for good luck back then, the farmers would cook cornbread, wait until it went stale, just so they could use it to crumble around the corner of their barns to bring good luck for the next year. They even used to cook all of these loaves with the first crop of the year and use it in their communion later on. So another interesting thing I found out about the holiday is it was kind of a holiday of love. I think this is kind of interesting, like I said. So the Anglo-Saxon people, what they would do, so this Llama Day festival actually lasted for 11 days. So if you were a couple that was engaged or considering becoming engaged and like in the middle of courting each other, what happened during this Llama festival is you were supposed to be able to live as a married couple for 11 days to kind of find out if you guys mix and match. At the end of the 11 days, no harm's done, because if you didn't like each other, that was that, and you dodged one of those, right? I guess it makes sense when you really think about it. Alright, so I've got just a couple other little things that I found that I thought were kind of silly that I wanted to share with you guys. So in August 1744, a man named Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen in a lab for the first time. I'm not really sure how he discovered oxygen. I can't really picture that. Just a fellow thinking, breathes in oxygen. That's kind of how I picture it, how it happened. But since he was in a laboratory, I'm sure I'm like really wrong. Alright, so in August 1762, the sandwich as we know it was first created. So the Earl of Sandwich, okay, he was named the Earl of Sandwich after this. He was so busy in a game of gambling that he didn't want to take the time to eat. So he looks at a servant and says, hey, bring me 2 pieces of bread and some meat in between. Hence the first version of a sandwich. And the last thing I have for you guys is August is apparently a common name for boys in Sweden. In 2014, it was the 55th most common name for newborn baby boys. Ironically, only 22% of those boys were actually born in August. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you found this a little bit interesting. As always, give this a like if you enjoyed that. We are always looking in the comments for ideas for some new things that you guys might want to hear. And until next time, see you soon.